Hola Colchoneros, welcome back to Atleti Fanatics. And today we have a very special guest with us, Kish from Lily White Lab. He'll be representing Tottenham today, and it's going to be an interesting match coming up tomorrow. And just before we start the preview of this game, just quick like and subscribe, and you guys can also check Kish's channel. I think you can find that his channel in the collaboration, and I'll mention his I think TikTok and Twitter as well. Yeah, in the description, and you guys can check him out if you're a Tottenham fan. So without any further delay, let's just guys start with the preview. So Kish, how you doing, man? I mean, not so good in social media Tottenham is doing right now. You're on mute, I guess.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The worst season so far in my lifetime anyway. I've never been like so not thinking about a Champions League knockout game. It's been because of the league position. I think everyone is very worried about getting relegated. And so the Champions League has kind of taken a back seat, which feels weird. But yeah, I mean it's not a game that Spurs fans are looking forward to or hopeful for. I think it's one that they just want to get out of the way and then try and secure survival in the Premier League. So yeah, not the best moment for us at the moment.
I can't really reckon. Are you guys still in the any cup competitions except Champions League, like FA Cup?
No, just
No.
Champions League. Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Wow. Interesting. You guys are really. I thought like we suffer a lot, Atleti fans. So the Tottenham has been on
Oh,
steroids right now,
yes.
in a different way. But anyway, so I think everyone wanted to ask this question. Obviously, like, what would be the priority right now for Tottenham? Is it to like save their Premier League? Not to get relegated, because the last time you guys played in the Premier League match, you guys lost to Crystal Palace. And now coming to this match, so like again, I mean, obviously you have so many injuries as well, as we were discussing right now. You guys have 10 injuries. And I can't even say like you have to play your B team, because you don't really have a B team. All
No,
are injured. So like you have to
exactly.
play your main players only. So what would be the priority right now? Like, do you see an intense match, or like do you see Tottenham maybe just like, just taking it as a game only? That's it. A
It's
normal
really
game.
difficult because obviously as Spurs fans we wanna win every game, especially these big games. But because of the injuries, it's so difficult to be able to fight on all fronts. So you have to, I guess, prioritize. And at this point, the main focus has to be staying in the Premier League because of the financial implications. If Spurs drop out of the Premier League, it can be detrimental to the whole club. So while Spurs fans, I'm sure, would love a win, it's definitely not priority. However, I don't think Spurs really have the players to go into a game like this and sit off and play in like a low block or play on the counter attack, because our defenders aren't very good at defending their own box. They're very much like front-footed defenders who want to play on the halfway line, the likes of Van der Ven, the likes of Romero, and also we don't really have the attacking threats to really play on the counter attack when we're missing kind of our wingers who are able to carry us up the pitch, in terms of Kudus, Odebear as well. So our team is a bit mixed up at the moment, and it's very difficult to play in that way. So the only way I see us trying to play is aggressive and on the front foot. Although obviously with a depleted squad, that is very difficult, especially when we're playing midweek and then on the weekend, then midweek again with only 12 or
True.
13 outfield
I mean,
players available.
not an easy fixture as well. You guys, I think, play Liverpool midweek.
Yes, on the weekend. Yeah. Yeah.
On the weekend, yeah. Sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. On the weekend, yeah. I mean, that's like, like pick your poison kind of stuff, because either like you go all in for this, or like you go all in for that match. Because I think like you guys are like, I think 1 point behind relegation spot right now. And Liverpool, I think, is going to be an away match as well. It's not going to be
Yeah.
easy. Anfield, obviously. So, I mean, I pity you guys sometimes, to be honest. I don't want to say this, but like it's a really, really bad situation going on for Tottenham right now. But I really want to ask this: like, you guys bought Gallagher in winter transfer window. So, like, what do you make of his time at Tottenham right now? And thank you so much, by the way, for the 40 million you guys gave us. for Gallagher. But what do you make of his time in Tottenham right now?
One of the worst signings I can remember. In terms of, I think Gallagher has value as a player, but in terms of what Spurs needed to what we went and bought was just worlds apart. So Spurs is probably most stacked position in the whole squad is the fact they have loads of number 8s. They have Bentancur, Sarr, Bergvall, Gray, Bissouma, and then we also have Paulinho, who's a bit of a weird kind of player. But the fact that we went and signed another physical, athletic runner, I guess, to a team that have a really, really low technical level, in a position where we were very, very stacked, the only position probably in the whole squad where you could say we have a bit of depth there. And that was our January signing that we made pretty much. So I've been really unimpressed, even with the things that I'm talking about in terms of the kind of intangibles, the work rate, the kind of getting about the pitch, the arriving in the box. We haven't really seen any of those things, and then obviously the technical stuff is never really going to come with him. So it's been a really, really bad signing, both in terms of his performances, but also just the squad planning and trying to fill needs that we had in the squad. In fact, we basically bought the one type of player we didn't really need. So yeah, I just don't understand the thinking there.
Since we're talking about the players, let's just go through every player like who's played for both of the clubs. So I'm gonna come next to Clement Longley right now. Now Clement Longley for us has been very, very ass. So how was his time at Tottenham? What do you make of it?
So he was signed for Conte. We wanted Bastoni at the time, I remember, and we were very serious, like bidded for Bastoni, and I think in the end he signed a new contract. And instead we ended up with Longley. For me, he was pretty decent on the ball, but I think defensively he, especially in the Premier League, was not strong enough, was not quick enough. And not an amazing box defender either. I always thought he was pretty good on the ball in terms of his passing out the back, but wasn't of the level that we needed. The left centre back, I remember, because it was that second season of Conte, was the main hole in that back line to try and get us to the next level. And we basically neglected going big in that position. So yeah, not a great one either.
In some ways, you're a little similar to us. Last season, we were supposed to go really hard for Hanko. Ended up with Longley. It terrorized our season. You know?
You went to Hanko the season after, right?
This season, yeah. And it's been perfect this season, but last season.
Yeah. I remember that due to Longley not being the greatest at Tottenham, that even Ben Davies used to play at left centre back a lot.
Yeah. So that was the kind of obvious upgrade, because we had Ben Davies playing there in the first season and they wanted to upgrade that. And we didn't get Bastoni and they didn't really have a second option. So I think they loaned Longley. I think it was a loan.
It was a straight loan.
Yeah. So it was kind of an emergency backup plan to their only target, which was Bastoni. So yeah.
Okay, next one. I think we can be very brief about this one. The next two signings, Matt Doherty and Sergi Reguilon. I think Sergi Reguilon, I think most of the people remember him because of his girlfriend, and much less because of his playing style. But what do you make of those two players, Doherty and Reguilon? Because I think I don't even remember Doherty playing for us at the moment, to be honest. I think mostly he was used to be on the bench only. And then Reguilon, I think like he was much better for you guys than us, because I think he just played a few matches with us. That's it. But yeah, another two players. You can be brief about it.
Yeah, so Reguilon arrived under Jose Mourinho, very highly rated at the time. He just didn't develop. Like, he had some good foundations in terms of he was quick. Yeah, he could put in good crosses. But he never learned to slow down. So he was always just so rushed in all his actions, no composure in anything he did, and just quite chaotic as a defender as well. Was very much like too overexcited in every game in terms of not being able to control himself. he was fine, and to be honest, I would have. He was still tied to us this season, and I would have had him stay just as a backup left back because we've struggled so much at left back this season. But he was released, I believe, this summer. And then Doherty, Doherty is like a sort of Dumfries type player in terms of box crasher, physical, powerful, but no real. And Dumfries is obviously a level above him, but I just mean in terms of the profile, just very physical, very good at attacking the back post in a wing back system. No capabilities on the ball, struggles under pressure, but could put up decent numbers in the final third from wing back. So had a bit of a decent spell under Conte, but then got an ACL, I believe, and was very, very poor ever since that.
True. The next two players I'm going to name, I think like they were really good players for both the clubs. And the first one is obviously Trippier, and then the next one was Toby Alderweireld. And I think like we didn't use him that much. Us Atleti fans, we didn't use him that much. But like in Tottenham, I think like we saw his prime, where I think he was really good. But with Trippier, like we had like a player like like who had a lot of impact in such a short time for us, and I think like he was very, very crucial for our title-winning season. That was the 2021 season. So again, what do you make of those two players?
Yeah, so starting with Trippier, Trippier came in as backup to Kyle Walker under Pochettino. Trippier, basically Walker was the kind of first one to leave that Pochettino team. He went to Man City, and Trippier was performing really well because when Kyle Walker said he wanted to leave, it was mid-season. So Trippier pretty much came in mid-season as the first choice because Kyle Walker basically expressed he didn't want to be there. And Trippier, I mean, his delivery was very, very good. A very technical player. I think where he struggled a bit was physically and athletically. But a good servant. I think towards the end of his Tottenham career, people got a bit frustrated with his defending, and I think partly it was the Premier League was getting more and more physical and athletic, and I think he wasn't the best at coping with that. But his kind of technical ability and his final third delivery was always brilliant. In terms of Alderweireld, that's definitely one of the best centre backs I've ever seen at Spurs. So calm and collected in every action. Read the game so well. And we had him and Vertonghen for 3 or 4 years together, which was just such a good partnership. They complemented each other so well because Vertonghen was much more of the aggressive, stepping in to stop attacks and stuff, and Alderweireld was sweep up behind. He was reading the game so well, but also his ability on the ball to switch play, like his long passing, was so unreal. And he created a bit of a partnership with Dele Alli, who always used to like to run beyond from the number 10, and Alderweireld was so good at finding those passes in behind from centre back. So yeah, I'd say Alderweireld was so good. And probably that team obviously should have won something because that's probably the best team we've had in my lifetime for sure.
Makes sense. Guys, you want to add something?
Sure. I'll talk about the two players that we more recently, but it's like Gallagher. I find it interesting that y'all went after him because me, Alex, and Fran were talking about it in the transfer window. We were saying the Aston Villa deal seemed like a good one for him, right? Not really the most amount of money. We ain't really getting back what we need, but cool. Then y'all came in last minute, 40 million. It's like, all right, we'll take it. It doesn't seem like a good deal for y'all. Perfectly fine for me though. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was almost like a gut reaction to the Bentancur injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is the issue of like the way that Spurs has run is all the transfers seem to be very opportunistic rather than planning and preparing for what the squad needs. And I think Bentancur went injured, but they're very, very different players. Like cool, they both play in midfield, but that is not a like for like replacement. And it was also not like Bentancur was providing much when he was fit. He was having a pretty poor season, but he at least offered something in deeper midfield where we could try and progress the ball a bit more. But Gallagher is not that type of player. You want him probably running ahead of the ball rather than dictating things from deeper. So that felt like, oh, we've had Gallagher on our list for a while. He's available. Let's just go and get him rather than any real plan. And yeah, I think him under Emery would be pretty successful. So I don't know why he chose to come here either.
It's probably because of London, no?
Yeah,
that's something though. I remember that Gallagher was on Tottenham's list for a while now, you know. And when Bentancur got injured, I think Atletico and Aston Villa sort of did a move because there's a relationship there. So they started those rumors that Gallagher to Aston Villa was pretty much done, so that Tottenham would sort of react to that and say, oh, no, we need to take him now that Bentancur is injured. So it was very much an opportunistic, maybe reactionary signing, but it really made no sense because here at Atletico, his best moments were pretty much on the left wing, box crashing. And you don't have really any midfield apart from maybe Gray, who dictates tempo from deep, that has any sort of technical value deeper. And to go for Gallagher, it really makes no sense.
Yeah.
But well.
Yeah, and also it's just like, it's not even a loan, so we've got him permanently, and it's like now you're going to have to shift more players where we didn't need an extra problem in terms of squad building and trying to shrink this squad so we can rebuild it. And this is another player who's not really got a role here, and now we have him in the squad, and you know, we're going to have to sign extra midfielders anyway, so we're going to have too many midfielders with Gallagher.
The worst part is that you're not going to get rid of him because he earns a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just a bad signing from the start. Nothing's changed from my thoughts from the start. Maybe my thoughts have got even lower on him because I thought at least he'd provide a bit of like box crashing. I thought he could provide something in the final third.
Hey, the assist was City. The assist was City. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's the best moment. We that was actually typical him, to be fair, winning the ball high and having a bit of end product. But I think part of it is the team as well. The team is not set up to get the best out of him. We don't create that many final third entries anyway for him to even get on the end of. But that is partly because the squad building has been so poor. So if we created an environment where Gallagher was able to thrive, maybe we'd get a bit more output from him. But it was just the wrong player at the wrong time, for sure.
I have a question. What do you think changed from Frank to Tudor? Is something like big change that really impacted the team, or not really?
But to be honest, it's really, really hard to see many changes so far. And I do think part of this is down to how thin the squad is right now. He doesn't really have a choice in the 11 that he selects. There's hardly any choices to be made. Even our kind of best academy products have picked up injuries recently. So even those guys can't really be integrated. I think the clear kind of shift was the speed in which he wanted to get the ball higher up the pitch. I think that is what he's been known for, to be more intense, to be quite direct. Whereas Frank was a lot of keeping the ball round the back, trying to draw the opposition in and then playing. But it's been really hard to notice any kind of concrete, real details about how it's changed. The performances have been poor with or without Frank. But again, he's not helped with the injury crisis at the moment.
Me and Alex watch a lot of Serie A, so I don't know if I'm not gonna lie to you, Doug. I saw Tudor in Juventus. I saw the signs coming. I thought that was a bad appointment.
But in terms of interims, there's nothing else really available, and it had to change with Frank. It had to, because the mood it's the worst I've ever seen it amongst the fan base. And so the gamble to get that kind of new manager bounce would have made sense, although they should have done it a lot earlier. Although it hasn't paid off, I think they had to make a change there. The issue is that the options weren't great. I thought Tudor would have more of an impact in terms of just a change of management style, a change of person, a change of training methods, all that kind of thing that sometimes for the first 4 or 5 weeks gives something to a team. But we haven't seen that. So yeah, we're in the same spot.
I mean, like for Tudor, like I want to say, I think like his best time was at Marseille, when he was at Marseille, and then from there, like he went to Lazio, and then I think I don't even remember if he did like half of the season with
No, he
Lazio.
wasn't there long at all. I was happy.
Exactly.
No.
And then I mean, Lazio is in their own a shithole right now. They're literally having a very bad time as well
That's
with
it.
ownership.
Terrible.
And then but anyway, so from Lazio to Juventus, that was a surprise. That was very surprising, by the way, from Lazio to Juventus. But anyway, and from Juventus to Tottenham is even more surprising, to be honest, because like you need someone to like get you out of the situation. But anyway, let's just look at some facts right now, which I was looking at. So the last time we met was in 1963 in a European Cup Winners' Cup final. I have no idea what that is, but that was in 1963, and Tottenham won 5-1. By the way, that's interesting. But anyway,
Wait, that
the next.
was the era with Ardiles and the rest, or was that
No,
later?
before that. It would be before
that was before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the 1960s team was probably Tottenham's best ever team. I know that. I don't know much about it, but I know that in the 60s was
Fair enough.
Tottenham's best.
I thought it was just me. I thought I was the only one who didn't know about 60.
Okay, stats for this season, guys. We haven't beaten any English side this season in the Champions League. Lost to Arsenal, lost to Liverpool. And for Tottenham has never beaten a Spanish side in a knockout stage in Champions League. So, I mean, there's something will change for sure. Either we're going to get our first win or it's going to be you guys. And then next, I want to say the last time Tottenham met a Spanish side was Real Madrid. And that was in 2010-11 quarterfinals. So
you wait, hold in knockouts.
Yeah,
in knockouts. Yeah, in
quarterfinals. I know they beat Real Madrid in the group stage already.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
that
coach.
That's
later.
That's in 2010-11.
I remember Winks masterclass.
Yeah. Modric and Cruz couldn't get near him.
Hang on, is it that match where like he scored from the halfway line?
No, that's
Europa League. That was
he scored from halfway
line. That was with
line.
Mourinho. That was Mourinho.
This is 2017 against Real Madrid.
Okay.
Dele Alli scored twice. Eriksson scored once.
Yeah.
I just saw we also played Tottenham in the International Champions Cup in a friendly in 2016. We won 1-0 with a Godin goal.
That's preseason friendly. I used to love those, by the way. The ICC ones, used to happen either in US or Asia. I used to love them. It used to be fun. But anyway, some more stats I have for you guys. So Atleti has kept 13 clean sheets in the last 18 knockout games at home. So again, something to look at in this one. And then we haven't lost a home Champions League knockout game since March 1997. So that's some solid record over there for Atleti. But again, what do you think, Kish? What's going to be the tactical plan for Tottenham coming to this game?
I think they'll try to bring it back home on a level score at least. So I think by the second leg, one of the injured players should be back. I think the guys that are closest are Udogie, Kudus, and Bergvall. So hopefully by then you're getting maybe one or two of those guys back, and they are all three of them pretty guaranteed starters. Maybe Bergvall a bit less so, but Kudus and Udogie are guaranteed starters. So if those guys can come back fit for the second leg, then the home leg is about probably keeping the score down, or at least like a 1-0 would be okay. In terms of tactical plan, I genuinely don't know what the plan is right now. It seems to be still very direct and playing long channel balls and playing off second balls. I think Solanke being back has been meant that that's been slightly better because the ball sticks a bit more up front. His touches, his link play is very, very, very good. He's not a very top goal scorer, but I think his all-round play is very strong. Yeah, there's not going to be a clear identity with this team. You won't see that, but I think they'll try to keep it tight and try to bring it back home.
I'm
For me,
not gonna lie.
yeah. Go
I
on, Tom.
am considering the type of players that Tottenham have. Very aggressive defenders, very aggressive midfielders in general, and well, you said that dropping deep is really not something that is a possibility because of the type of players you have, and that makes me a bit optimistic because we have seen what we did against Barcelona with a similar type of defending. We saw what they did against Betis. So I feel like we can take really good advantage of that. So that makes me optimistic,
In terms of transitions, you mean?
Yeah.
Or against the because the thing is they might still try to sit off. I've just never seen this team in Tottenham, like the last 2-3 years, be able to sit back successfully. Under Pochettino, there was times where we were very much able to do that. But this set of defenders just don't know how to defend their box properly. I think maybe Danso is the only one that is capable in a low block. I think Romero, Van der Ven, Porro, Spence even, they all struggle. Vicario especially. So I just always think that with this set of players, you're better off being aggressive because it suits them better. But again, we don't have the players to be able to press high or aggressive because we don't have enough substitutes and stuff like that. So we're kind of torn between these two things.
But what about with Ange in the Europa League? Didn't you sit back quite a lot?
Yes, we did. But against poor opposition, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the difference. I think against Man United, it was a very poor Man United team. I think Frankfurt is the only maybe game where that kind of worked. But again, you had Ekitike there. It wasn't a top team. And we had players like Maddison playing, Romero, Van der Ven. These are supposed to be good players. So it's not, it's not that impressive to be able to do it there. I just don't think we'd be able to keep out the likes of, your attackers who are world above ours at the moment. So that's why I would probably look to be more aggressive.
No offense, but I didn't want Tottenham to win the Europa League last season because I wanted Romero. I really wanted Romero at that time. The rumors were very strong with Romero and Atleti, and I think you guys winning the Europa League, coming to the Champions League, and kind of blocked that move. I think if you guys missed out on the Champions League, Romero was definitely coming to Atleti. That's what I believe. But,
and I think you could go and sign him this summer. I don't think he wants to be here. I think he's more than good enough. I think if you put Romero in a team that is competing properly and they have the players to compete, his level goes up. He rises to big occasions. He's better when there's jeopardy and there's actual things to play for. I think when you see the more rash side is when he's frustrated at the club situation, when he's not really locked in, his head's not fully in it. Because in that Europa League run, for example, when he knew a trophy was on the line, he was faultless throughout. When we've been kind of competing towards the top of the table, he's been excellent. It's where the rest of the players aren't up to his level, which he is the captain, so he should keep his levels high, is when they drop off. So I think if you put him in a team that's competing properly, I think you'll see a very, very good centre-back.
True. I mean, the thing right now is we have, if you see that guy over there with the number 18, Marc Pobil, I think right now, Romero has to compete with him, and maybe he has to, and maybe he has to accept a different role right now. So I don't know if he'll be okay with it because he already has that main role at Tottenham, being the captain of the team as well. So right now, if he comes at Atleti, he has to accept a different role. So let's see what happens in the summer. Obviously, if the Argentinian friendship group gonna get him to Atleti, but I think it's not gonna be an easy transfer for sure because it's gonna be at least 50 million.
Yeah, I would say so.
Transfer cost or something. But let's see what happens. Anyway, I just want to go through some press conference things which happened today. Very remarkable, thoughts from Simeone about Tottenham, and then I don't know if we went to the Champions press conference yet or not, but we have this from Simeone. So this is what he said about Conor Gallagher. So like he's a boy who worked with great humility with us, a worker, a player who coming from the second line is very dangerous. He can play in different positions to help the team as needed. He's a boy who behaved very well here. We have very good memories of his time at Atletico. I mean, I don't have any complaints with Gallagher at Atletico. I think he gave his all, so I don't really have any complaints. But did you guys get the same play from Atleti, or like is it a different player? I'm asking this again. What do you think? Is it the same player?
I just don't think we've been able to see any of his qualities yet, and I don't know if we ever will. I think he's a good player. I genuinely think he's a good player. I just don't think he's what we needed. I think there's a role for him in certain positions and certain situations, but he's a very specific player. He's not a player that can play deeper in midfield. I don't know where it's come from that he's this central midfielder who can play deep in midfield. I think he's always better higher up the pitch where he can be more aggressive and time his runs beyond the last line and stuff like that.
Makes sense. Okay, next, more from Diego Simeone. So, like, we approach everything in the same way. I believe that no team, when they enter the field, remember where they are in the table. Footballers want to play, they want to win, they want to do well. They came fourth in the league phase. We came through the playoffs, so we are not favorites. What do you make of this, Kish? I really want to ask you from a Tottenham perspective of view.
Well, I mean, you are 100% favorites. Player for player, if you just go through the players, I don't know if at the moment any of our players get into your team. Maybe some of the back line, maybe Porro could get in.
No, he can't. No,
you're right.
Llorente has been.
Yeah, okay, maybe not Porro then, but Romero at his best for sure can get into the team. Van der Ven has been very poor in these last few weeks, but again, he's dropped his level because he doesn't look interested. But I rate Hanko very highly as well. I'm trying to think who else there is who could. Obviously, the players that we got out injured.
I'll take Udigi. I'll take Udigi. That's the one Italian I'll take for my team.
Yeah,
Udigi and Kudus seem like genuinely players who, when I saw them come into your team, I was like, I'm shocked that they decided to go to your team. So I thought there would be a lot of offers coming from them.
Yeah, I think Udogi's been here 3 seasons, one of which was out on loan. So we signed him as a youngster. He can't stay fit, so he's not going to be able to get a move without putting a run of games together. I think every time he comes into the team, he looks like very, very key player, but he can't stay fit. In terms of Kudus, we saw his start at Spurs was so good, and then he tailed off. But there's a lot of quality in Kudus. I think he'll still be a very, very good player as long as we stay up. I think he'll stay. Again, none of these guys have had the season where their value is high and where Spurs are going to sell them unless we get relegated, because the offers for these players are all going to be under what their true value is, in my opinion. So unless they really force a move, I think a lot of these guys, if we end up staying, won't have their choice of where they want to move to and stuff like that.
I also think that if we consider Sørloth a starter, probably Colomwani and Solanke start for us up top.
But is Griezmann and Alvarez not the starting pair?
Not really.
It's a 50-50, but mostly Sørloth, Julián, which is not our preferred.
How has Griezmann been this season fully?
Griezmann has been really good coming off the bench. Like really good, probably our super sub, but in the Copa del Rey, which we are in the final now, he's been sort of, when you play a cup goalkeeper, where Griezmann has been our cup superstar, and he's started every game and probably been the best player in every game. So and Champions League,
I'll just say
too.
one line. Yeah, I'll just say one line about Griezmann, since Fran mentioned the Copa del Rey. You remember the Euro 2016 competition? We're getting the same Griezmann for Copa del Rey.
Okay.
Just one line.
Yeah. He's been one of my favorite players. Like I love him. But I just wondered because he has I noticed that he wasn't starting every game. Is that just to manage his minutes as he's getting older?
Yep.
In a sense, yeah. You can't burn out. It's him and Koke that you can't really burn out because you kind of need them, but you also can't force them to play non-stop at the same time.
Of course.
And I assume we'll talk later about the possible lineups, but I'd probably start Griezmann tomorrow.
We'll talk about that later. But what I would ask, I want to ask a real quick question. This is a would you like if in this hypothetical, I think you have a very strong young core. I think when I look at a lot of your young players and a lot of your players, I know Ange has been like on multiple like podcasts now complaining about how he should have got better players and whatever. I don't care. More than that though is like Gray is a good player. What do you call it? Bergvall is a good player. Udochi is a good player. What do you call it? You have a few solid youngsters, and then you also have a very good academy in Mikey Moore.
Yeah,
academy very good.
Yeah,
Janai Byfield's the one this season. He's a young defender. Luca Williams Barnett is younger, but the next big one.
And then you have the young South Korean you signed, the winger, the right winger, I believe.
Yes, we have a Japanese centre back Takai, and we have a Korean winger Yang. Both are like so. We don't know if they'll make it here, but then Vuskovic obviously is
right. You have a lot of big clubs basically saying that they're theirs already, but more than that, what I was saying is, if you were to, this is not a very nice hypothetical. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you were to get rid of a lot of the players, but you kept your young core, you got relegated, you kept your young core, and then you went back up. Would you be happier with that, or would you say you just want to keep it and then maybe lose one or two young players in the process?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I really think this whole club needs a massive revamp, and kind of ins and outs need to happen all over the pitch, especially in terms of the board level as well. But yeah, it's difficult because I think we'd actually end up losing some of the young core as well if we went down. But also, there's no guarantee that you'll ever come back up immediately. If it was a guarantee that we'd have one season outside and we'd build around a young core, then maybe. But look at Leicester. I think Leicester have players in their team that are way too good for the Championship, but they're struggling to even stay in the Championship at this point. And so, I think it's. We need, whether we stay up or not, there needs to be a massive overhaul of the squad, but also the recruitment staff, the board, etc., etc. So, yeah, whether or not we see that, I don't know. But I think regardless of what happens, there will be a massive change this summer.
Fair enough. I guess, yeah. As I said, the hypothetical is not too nice. I still like a lot, like for instance, Dane Scarlett, right? Like he has a Jamaican passport. I love all the Caribbean, the half Caribbean people out there. So, and I also like them a lot.
For your information, St. Kicks knows every Caribbean that has dual nationality and on him.
I keep a lot of tabs on the Premier League and the Scottish League because they just like littered over there.
Yeah, there's so many in England now, and because England are getting better and better, I think you'll end up getting more and more.
I wanted to see Miles Lewis Kelly for Barbados, but we can't get anything apparently. Caribbean doesn't get anything anymore. But anyway, I say this because I think ignoring the hypothetical, I think when you look at your young core, these are players that you would say you're really lucky that you got them that early, either through your academy or through the good transfers, good planning. Because I look at that and I look at a similar situation as to what Juventus had like 2-3 years ago, right? But you had basically 8 out of your 11 players covered in both the starting, maybe even sometimes the second position by really good players. And Juventus sold like all of them. They sold like every single, except maybe Yildiz and Moretti, of which they tried to sell Moretti. Everybody else, Huijsen, Sule, the winter thing, it's like you could have built a squad. You take one summer, don't buy anybody, keep your squad. But And this is the issue with the recruitment, because I think I really liked what we were doing with that and signing young players whose value is pretty much doubling, tripling within a year.
That doesn't mean that you go and sell them, but you can build around that. And then that is, I think, for me, how you get to end up competing at the top is you sign players who can grow into the players that maybe you couldn't attract when they were at their peak, but we signed them early. The issue is that we have done either or. So we've either signed these Gallagher type players, Solanke, Gallagher, Richarlison, like the prime kind of Premier League ready players, or we've gone and signed just kids. And it's like, if you do a bit of both, you can plug holes with those experienced players, but your core talent group is what you build around. And then every season you might need to fix, or we need an extra left winger, go and buy that or whatever. But how you create a really reliable squad is by, I think, building something more planned and more structured. But because of the ownership changing, it seems to all be all over the place at the moment. So it's really hard to know what the plan is.
Fair enough. Alex,
I really
lineups.
want to. I'm gonna get there just before that. Like, I really wanted to hear like if Igor Tudor went to the press conference or not, because I can't see anything. Did he go to the press conference, or like is it
seen
still
any
due?
quotes, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's later. I don't know. Is it? No, it won't be later now. I haven't seen any quotes, but I've been staying off Tottenham Twitter today. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like, you guys have to be.
I just saw 9 minutes ago. I saw a tweet that says Igor Tudor and Pedro Porro will face the media shortly to preview the game. So it's coming. In a few. Yeah, it's in maybe an hour.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. Like, maybe we'll see something interesting from Igor Tudor, like what he says. But anyway, moving on to the next one now. The possible lineup. I'll start with you, Kish. What do you think? Who will start for Tottenham tomorrow?
So this is very, very difficult, because at the moment we don't know whether he wants to play a back four or back three. We don't know much. So I think what we do know is Vicario will play in goal, even though he's been very, very poor. I think that's just who we have now.
Kinski, no?
Yeah, but he's not. He would have dropped Vicario by now, I think, if he was going to. And I think Vicario has been poor, but at least like he can pull out good saves at points. I think Kinski's shot stopping has been very questionable, although he's very, very good with his feet. I think in this kind of game, you probably want the better goalkeeper. Porro will play, obviously.
No, hang on. What's wrong with Vicario? I really want to hear now. What's wrong with Vicario?
What's wrong with him? What's right with him?
Alex is Italian, so
he's just been so poor. His distribution mainly, but also he can't claim crosses because he's not physically built enough. I think the Premier League's kind of shift this season in terms of being very, very physical has been really difficult for him, especially from set pieces, and his distribution has been very, very poor. I think under Frank and Tudor, he's been asked to play long a bit more, but his long passing has never been good. So he just kicks the ball out of play so often.
But he saved many matches as well.
Black doesn't help us from corners, so he's pretty good.
No Black, you say?
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, but you have a level of shot stopping with him, no? That is not.
Yeah, but
I mean, Vicario, his shot stopping has regressed this season. I think last season he was pulling off some very good saves. I think this season he's been very poor. I think he'll be sold in the summer.
Interesting take. But yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Porro is going to start surely, but will he play as a right center back as he did against Crystal Palace?
Yeah, this is what I mean. I have no idea what shape.
That was so funny.
I can tell you what individuals are going to play. I think I think that back four will play, whether you have Spence at left wing back in like a 5, or you have it as a 4 with Van der Ven left back. We've still never really seen Van der Ven play left back for Spurs. I think barring one game under Ange. But there is a lot of talk around that. I think the lack of a left footer for our left back this whole season has been so detrimental to us. So maybe for balance, they might put Van der Ven there. I think this is Romero's first game of being available since he got sent off against Man United. So we haven't had Romero under Tudor yet. So I think that that if it is a 4, that it will be that back 4. I think he will play. Gray will play for sure. And then the other midfield spot will be one of Sarr, Palhinha, Gallagher, or Bissouma. But none of them have been good. So I would probably go with Bissouma. I'd go with Bissouma and Gray. And then I'd probably put Gallagher in the 10 behind Solanke. And then maybe Tel and Simmons like that. Although I don't think he'll play Tel. I think he'll play Kolo Muani on the right, and I think he'll play Simmons on the left, with maybe Gallagher in the 10, and then Solanke up front. It's very difficult to predict our lineups at the moment.
He's using Kolo Muani as a channel forward?
Yeah, because we don't have any wingers. We don't have any wingers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So look,
Yes,
Simmons is playing on the left. Tel is better off the left than the right, but we don't have any right wingers. So that's the only real option.
Okay.
Unless he might play a 4-4-2, where he puts Gallagher on the right side of midfield, and then he plays Solanke and Kolo Muani. That's an option. But we have no wide players at the moment, so it's
When
very
you-
difficult.
When you talk about Van de Ven playing left back, you mean a left back that stays deeper or a left back that pushes wide?
I think he'll play him as just a traditional left back.
Okay,
because-
so we could probably see Van de Ven as a wood holder on the left, Porro
Yeah.
as a right centre back, and maybe Gray as a right wing back.
Yes, because the issue is this is actually slightly different now. Romero is back fit, so maybe we won't see that. But
Yeah.
because without Romero, we have had no one to build through the lines from the back line. So Porro has been the one who has to stay deep, because otherwise no one else can play the ball forward, pass through the lines, etc. So now Romero is back, you might see more of a wing back type role for Porro, and then maybe Van de Ven tucking in more. But Porro's had to play deeper because he wants someone who can break lines with their passing, and no one else could do it except him. But now Romero is back, we might see different.
No, I mean, like, I definitely agree. Van de Ven playing on the left hand side, I kind of agree, because again, like, if you have to, like, like nullify the effect of Juliano and Llorente, like, you need someone with good speed, and Van de Ven has very good speed.
The
So-
duel, the run, it's going to be a 50-meter run, like athletics, the Olympics, with Juliano
Exactly.
against Van de Ven.
And it's gonna be interesting battle, I would say, because again, both have good pace, and again, not to mention Llorente is just behind him as well, so that'll be something. I don't.
I'm not as high on that as everybody else, to be honest with you. I think when you have a situation, if you one-on-one with Juliano, sure, but I don't think he's going to be one-on-one, which is why I'm saying I'm not sure it's a wise idea to put the center back in that position, because you're putting him in a level of unfamiliarity. But again, as you said, lots of injuries. It's not really up to you.
No, it's not ideal for sure. Jed Spence might be fit, but he wasn't on the bench in our last game, so he might be back fit. But again, it's the lack of left footers in the whole team that really harms us in terms of all the angles we can play at. And I think having just one left footer on that left side just helps with the balance. But again, it's definitely not ideal.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not really excited on the right-hand side for Atleti. I think it's going to be an interesting competition between Van de Ven and Juliano. The one I am excited about is Lookman versus Porro, which I think Lookman can make the best out of it. That's what I believe. But and again, we have Ruggeri as well. And again, Ruggeri's 2016 has been good. I mean, the numbers are kind of like surprising, but it is what it is. Same with Sørloth again, but I don't see Sørloth starting for this match. So guys, I think I'll keep the same lineup, to be honest. I won't play Barrios in this match because I'll save Barrios to come on in the second half, because I don't want to take any risk for this game. It's at home as well. So I'll stick with the same lineup for Atleti. What do you guys think, Fran and Keeks?
I don't even think I would put Barrios off the bench. Like, please recover as patient as possible. We need you, but I don't know. My doubts as to what Simeone is going to do is in midfield and in attack. I can see him playing Llorente in midfield in this game, a game where probably if you press aggressively against Palhinha and Gallagher, you're probably going to get the ball off him. So probably being aggressive with Cardoso and Llorente sounds like a good idea. So I don't know if Simeone is going to try that. I agree. I would play this exact same 11, but I also don't know if Simeone will think of Sørloth as a good idea to fight against Danso and Romero. We know that Sørloth isn't the striker that imposes himself physically, that beats defenders, but maybe Simeone has that idea of Sørloth, but many people on the fan base have that idea of Sørloth. So my two doubts are that, but I would play exactly what is there.
Fran made a very good point, but like I'm not confident with Molina against, even with Javi Simons, or I think even if Tel goes to the left hand side, I'm not confident with Molina with that as well.
Wait, but the alternative to put in Llorente midfield would maybe be Jimenez in centre back and Pubil right back, because Jimenez against Real Sociedad was amazing, was perfect.
That can be an option as well. True, that can be an option as well.
And we have to consider that Simeone took Lenormand to the press conference, so maybe that opens up the spots to Llorente midfield and Pubil right back.
There's
I
a
don't
possibility.
want it,
That'll be
but
stupid.
I don't want to see that, but I think if I was to do this 11, I'd do the same back four, but I would risk Barrios for one half and just keep him. I feel like you could, if you play everything perfectly fine, you could kill it off, like really, like just really halfway. Ignore that. If you could really hit your team in that sense, in the same way that in that Barca game where effectively one half decided the entire tie. If you try to do that, I would do Lookman, Alvarez front two, Baena left, Cardoso, Barrios, Julián Simeone. That's what I would do in terms of just like pushing really hard. I think Griezmann and Koke, as much as I like them, I don't like them so much in the Champions League so far this season, because there are games where they're really good and there are also games where it feels like they're just a little bit off the tempo, and it'd be so much better off controlling the game in the second half than it would be in the starting of it. And I guess unfortunately, unlike Kish, we do have the luxury of actually changing different players and having different options. So I think all of the different combinations we've mentioned are all possibilities. Like this could be the 11, or it could be the one that Fran mentioned, or it could be something we don't even know. That's kind of how it is right now.
We also don't know if Lookman will start, because he benched him against Bruges. Lookman also started in the weekend against La Real, so maybe there's a change there as well.
No, but like, he didn't play the full. He didn't play the full. 90.
But imagine if the lineups come tomorrow and you read Nico.
I'd kill. I can't say that. I was about to say. Sorry, but yeah, no, it has to be Lookman to me. It has to be.
Yeah. You know, if Nico starts, I'll be the guy who was shouting behind Saint Keeks in the background. I'll be that guy.
Who do you guys have on the weekend?
Getafe. Yes.
Yeah,
we play Getafe at home.
We have
we've been throwing away the league basically in terms of lineups.
Yeah, that's it, because we are the league is pretty much lost. As long as we keep top four, our board members will be happy. Everyone will be happy. So we have been rotating a lot in the league.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage.
Anyway, who would be your 5 changes, Kish? Like, I'm really interested in your bench. Because I think there will be a time like where Spurs players will be tired. So I really want to know who would be your 5 changes.
Like I said, you've got a lot of options in midfield mainly. So you've got, I don't think Sar will start the game, so you can bring on him. He's always got very good energy. I still rate him pretty highly. I think in a successful team, I think there's talent there. So he's one. Who else is there? There is genuinely, I don't think there's many others. Obviously, if Palhinha doesn't start, then it'll be Palhinha. But if not, it's Basuma. So that's another midfielder. Then
Basuma, man, I hate that guy.
It's Tel.
You hate Basuma?
I think he's so bad.
Who?
There was a period of time where he was really, really good for Tottenham.
Basuma.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is like I've said on my channel, that the technical level at Spurs is so low that Basuma, when he plays, you're like, he has to play, because none of the other midfielders can do what he can do, which is take the ball under pressure and progress the ball. I think he's very erratic. He's not great defensively. He loses runners, but he's the only one that can really take the ball off the back line and get us playing. Maybe Archie Gray can do it a little bit as well. So maybe because Archie Gray has been good the last couple of games, even though we've been very poor. Yeah. So you've got Tel / Kolo Muani. You've got Basuma, Sarr, Palhinha if he doesn't play.
I just remembered that. I just remembered that Richarlison is still there.
Richarlison, that's another one. Yeah. Yeah. And he's been decent. Like he knows how to score goals. Even like his goal to minute ratio since his time at Spurs has been very good. Never that many important goals, but he does put the ball in the back of the net. He's frustrating, but in these kind of games, I think he's someone that can nick a goal. So yeah, he's definitely one as well. Yeah.
We haven't kept a clean sheet the entirety of every Champions League game so far, so I'm not expecting a clean sheet here either.
That's interesting.
I don't know why. I think our backline has been the best it's been in like the past 5 years, and yet it seems like the exact opposite for everybody. But I am a little bit concerned about Kolo Muani because I think if he's not in the striker position, you have a little bit of freedom that in a place I don't particularly like, which is that left-hand pocket space.
Yeah.
Where if we don't have Lookman on the pitch, which, as Fran just mentioned, is a real possibility, you kind of have a lot of movement and a lot of space against a fairly slow defender in Ruggieri and Hanko having to juggle too many plates at the same time. So you can get a lot of freedom and a lot of joy from that. And Porro, despite my distaste for him, is a very good deliver of the ball. He has a good cross on him. He has a good shot on him. So I think for a lot of reasons, I need a Lookman 90. But I think if there was to be joy to be found in Atletico, it would be on that flank, especially if Lookman doesn't start. So
yeah, that makes sense to me. And I think Kolo Muani's Champions League performances have actually been pretty good. It's in the league where he's been quite poor. He was very good against PSG. He was good against Frankfurt, and he was good against Copenhagen, I believe. So yeah, I think. Say that again.
2 of his past sides.
Exactly. That's the kind of been the story with him. He's very inconsistent. But there is ability there for sure. Yeah, and I think he's kind of better suited to playing with Solanke because he likes to drift into those wide areas. That position kind of between the fullback and centre back, that's where he does his best work. So I think that makes sense. It's just about can we even get up the pitch to be able to utilize that? Because yeah, we've struggled to do that.
Fair enough.
Okay, guys. Do you guys really want to do a combined lineup? Because again, no offense, I don't see any Tottenham player getting in, but do you guys want to go with it? Or we can skip it?
We sort of did it when talking to each other, so it's
all right.
Yeah,
it's fine. Okay. Let's skip it. Okay, guys. So then the last one is obviously the score prediction. So Kish, I'll ask you this first. Yeah, you can just go on with it.
No pressure, by the way. All of us are terrible at this.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 2-0 Atleti.
Oh, we're keeping a clean sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fran?
Okay, so considering that we haven't kept a clean sheet, I was going to say 3-0 for us, but I'm going to say 3-1 because we don't keep a clean sheet in the Champions League for some reason. So yeah, started the first half, 3 goals in the first half, and then we stopped being aggressive. And Richarlison enters the bench and scores. There you go.
I'll say the same thing as Fran. I was gonna go 4-1, but I feel like that's a bit rude. So I'll go 3.
I don't know, you guys are very confident. I'm not really confident coming to this game because with Atleti, you're never really confident. And I'm really,
I forgot we're not favorites.
Exactly. For some reason, I'm really worried about getting embarrassed because, imagine even if we played a draw against Tottenham, again, no offense to Tottenham, the social media will explode, was saying like, like you guys can't even beat Tottenham at home, blah blah blah, and then all of that. So, and being a Atleti fan, like throughout all these years, it's kind of possible as well, because sometimes things just doesn't work for us. So it's gonna be either completely different. You're gonna see first half Atleti is gonna go guns blazing, and then suddenly it's like 3-0, 4-0 like that. Uh, exactly something like happened against a Dortmund match as well, where like we went in guns blazing, took a very good lead, and then gave it away as well.
Yeah.
So think again, I'm gonna be optimistic about this one, because yeah, I'm delusional. I'm very delusional. So, but I'm gonna say a 3-0. I think we keep a clean sheet, but I think the match will be decided in the second leg. This is what I feel, because I think Tottenham will somehow try to get, even if like it's a 1 goal difference or a 2 goal difference, they'll try to take that. And we struggle against a team like I think Tottenham won't attack that much. They'll rely on the counter attacks,
especially on away form. We're really bad.
Yeah. So Alex, you think we're going to see exactly the same type of series that we saw against Barcelona?
No, not that one. Look, my point is, like at the first leg, I don't see Tottenham attacking that much. I think they're gonna form a low block, and we struggle against a low block. This is what I feel like, and then we'll see what happens. I think we will be struggling to create chances, or it's gonna be like everyone's gonna be on top of their game. So let's see what happens. But I'm gonna go with a 3-0. And the second leg, I think, is going to be a different one, where Tottenham will attack and will go through the counter attacks, which I think is a much more open game for us rather than this game. And also because they play Liverpool this weekend, so that also will come in play. They have 3 intense games back to back in 2-3 days. So, but anyway, I think I went on too long, but a 3-0.
As much as I'll say this, as much as Atletico are, contrary to Simeone's belief, as much as Atletico are favorites to this game, we do have an innate ability to just randomly throw a complete haymaker and lose a game from nothing. We've done a few of those this season, at home and away. So you never 100% know what you're getting with Atletico. There's a hope, there's a belief that we'll play well, but we'll see on the game. You feel me?
Yeah, I think like we play well like when we have the mentality of underdogs, like when we become the favorites, we become shit. Like I've seen this like in the past few years as well. I remember like where we could have been in the semifinals, or when we defeated Liverpool and then we went on to play Leipzig, such an easy draw at that time, and then we went on to lose that one. And again, the same thing. It should have been a walk in the park, that game against Leipzig, easy semifinal. But again,
more or less, you saw the starting 11 that Simeone put that day. Diego Costa started.
Exactly what I'm saying. Like that was an easy game, but we gave it away. That's what I'm saying. And then against Dortmund as well, we had a 2-0 lead, and then who was it?
Yeah, I remember
Haller.
this.
Yeah, Sebastian Haller scored the 2-1, and he gave chance to Dortmund, and that was not a good Dortmund team. But again, Dortmund went on to play the Champions League final as well. Somehow, they defeated PSG as well. So that's what I'm saying. Like like when we get the Champions League bracket like on an easier side, for example, this one, things don't really work out for us. And when it's the opposite, let's say if we were in the hard one, I think we would have done better. Because the last 2 Champions League finals, we've played Bayern, Barca back to back. And
to be fair, easier side. If we go through, we play Barcelona, and if we go through, we play Arsenal. We're going to play 2 of the most informed teams in the world, and Tottenham are a Premier League side, even if they are not in good form. So I don't know if it's easy. I mean, sure, there are some weaker teams, but if we go through, we're going to face the best.
I take it
but
back.
Anyway,
there you go, guys. I take it back. I mean, like, he has a point. He has a good point. I take it back. But anyway, I think we can end the show right now. So thank you so much, Kish, for joining us. And this was a very long episode as well. So guys, just as usual, like and subscribe, and you guys can check out Kish channel as well. It's Lily White Lab, if I'm not wrong. And I'll put in his social media as well in the description, so you guys can check him out. And until then, we'll see you guys again for the review of this match, and we'll also do a watch along for this match, so you guys can join us. And then until then, Atleti. See you. Ciao, ciao.